Hi guys, welcome back to the Follow the Eyes Quantify Digital webinar. We have another great topic for you guys today, and we hope that you guys are staying safe during this time. And we realize that we're going to run into a lot of questions and a lot of things when it comes to this time period that we're going to have to trial together and work through together. And so that's why we've had all of these topics come up. And today we have another great topic. It's called the new TV ecosystem. And so as we dive into this, we kind of wanted to bring on two of our experts within our own office. And we wanted them to kind of explain and share their own thoughts, opinions, and benefits on the new TV ecosystem that we're all talking about and having to navigate. And so first we have Haley Zimmerman. I'm going to have her talk about herself a little bit. Haley, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here. So I'm Haley Zimmerman. I am the Chief Strategy Officer here at Follow the Eyes, and my team and I are the ones kind of pushing the buttons. So we handle the strategy side for our clients, as well as the actual execution of digital campaigns, including CTV.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Next, we have the great and well-known Adam Sealtz. He's a constant source of laughter in our office. So Adam, thank you for joining us. Go ahead and explain to the viewers, what your position is and kind of what you do here at Follow the Eyes.
Sure. Thank you for having me on. I'm Adam Sealtz, Chief Marketing Officer here at Follow the Eyes. I've been here since day one, coming up on 5 years. I've really done everything from building campaigns to building PowerPoints to training. Now my position is more of helping in the sales world of getting our biz devs firing on all 8 cylinders. Obviously, I handle a set of our accounts and our high-end accounts, and just keeping up in front of all these new high-tech products and making sure that we're doing the best we can for our customers.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, both of you guys, for joining us and being here today. So let's kind of dive right in. Today, we're talking about the new TV ecosystem. And, we thought who else to join us than the girl who's behind strategizing and the guy who's bringing on the clients for that strategy to take place in. So kind of give us a background, a state of the union on CTV, connected TV versus traditional TV. What's the difference there?
Yeah, very good question. CTV, connected TV, is basically streaming this content on Fire Sticks, Roku's, smart TVs, Xboxes. It's just an alternate way that people are consuming media these days. It's becoming a fractured marketplace where the only way you could watch television was on your TV in your living room, watching cable or broadcast. And now all these devices are out there, and people are watching them through their Fire Sticks, and it's a different ecosystem. But what's nice about connected television compared to some of the other products out there that people call OTT is we're all on the big screen. So it is a direct replacement for people who are watching traditional television or broadcast or cable. So we now 70 to 75% is watched in the living room. So it's not just watched on a phone or on a tablet device. It's in your living room on a big TV. And what's nice about it is we always thought millennials as these young kids, and they've got their new ways of doing things. And this is the majority of the people who are using this type of product and service. It is by a slight margin. It's across the board. But you have to realize now that millennials are now 25 to close to 40 and are a huge portion of the buying power. So to be able to get in front of these people, the people that watch TV but also watch through a streaming or just do streaming on their own, it's very, very powerful for a business to be able to do that. And that's why we got into this space and wanted to be, top notch with it, because, like our name says, it's Follow the Eyes, make sure that we're getting in front of people. And if things are more fractured, how do we get in front of them? And it's all just to help serve the end consumer or the business as best as possible. And going back to the people who are watching it, 52% of boomers are using these types of devices, more because we've helped them set it up, right? Like my parents, hey, how do I do this? So I go down to the lake and I set it up for them, and they're using it, they're watching it just as much as they are their traditional shows. So, the neat thing about it is, our goal is to make sure that we're in front of the cord cutters. Everybody's heard that term, but also cord stackers and cord nevers. So the cord cutters everybody's heard what that is. I don't have cable anymore. I'm just going to watch my 3 or 4 channels over broadcast, and I'm going to stream. Yeah, that's great, but there's also people that are cord stackers that have both. So that was me for a while. I had cable forever, and I got a couple streaming devices. This is really neat. Got tired of the bill, cut the cord. So now so I was a stacker. Now I'm a cutter, and then there's the cord nevers. So that's my kids going anywhere from 18 to 10. Highly doubt that they get into cable, or it's ever going to be the same as what it was when I had traditional cable. It's all going to be a new world, and Haley's going to touch upon what some of the things that are, how that's moving, but we can already see it. All these different devices. CBS is coming out with a new streaming service, supposed to be July. I don't know if there's any hang up with COVID or not, but everybody's pulling their content away. Disney pulled all the Marvel stuff away from Netflix. They're starting so everybody's buying all these different services. Well, heck, you really need to be in front of those. And that's what our product provides. And it's just it's a neat place to be at for us. And it's also to be able to offer our clients this type of service. And it's really the most asked for thing that I'm running into these days, fielding calls from our outbound marketing, or when we're out prospecting, talking to clients or new clients or current clients. It's the buzzword. How do I do this? And it's an awesome place to be.
Yeah, and in addition to the generational demand, I think it's beneficial to kind of step back and look at the distribution process. And so what we're seeing is that content drives viewership and popularity of these streaming services. So the follow the money is where the viewers are watching. And, now that these major distributing companies like A&E and Fox and HGTV and things like that aren't going straight to just cable and broadcast companies anymore. They're allowed to distribute their content to all of these streaming services as well. And that's what's that's what's driving this fractured ecosystem.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys have kind of tossed that term around a couple times, the fractured ecosystem. Can we kind of break that apart and explain that a little bit further into what exactly is the fractured ecosystem?
Yeah, and I think it's really beneficial to kind of dive into how the models have changed, and it all comes down to distribution. So it used to be that, like I said, the cable and broadcast networks were kind of the gatekeepers of all this content, and we could only access that content if we have a set-top box and we tune into our cable channel or our broadcast network. And now we're seeing these streaming services are not only distributing popular content, they're also creating popular content. So your Hulu and your Amazon networks are producing these extremely popular original content, and it's only accessible through Hulu or through Amazon. So we're seeing a shakeup of the supply chain, and because of that, supply chain for viewing is changing the supply chain for buying ads.
Awesome. Yeah, I think about the shows where, if I have my Apple TV or my Amazon Prime shows, I'm always like, hey, Mom, have you seen this show? And a lot of times she hasn't because she's not connected that way. So it definitely makes sense. So there's a lot of access to premium inventory, and, we're kind of following the streaming habits of users. And you guys have talked about so many benefits of, connected TV, and those being some of the main. What else is there? I feel like this is such a broad topic, kind of pulling back and looking at it big picture. What other benefits are there for CTV and connected TV?
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits, and that's why it is so popular right now. You have a highly engaged audience because it's really, it's appointment TV. You're going through, you turn on your device and you're starting to look through what shows do I want to watch, and you set it and that's what you're going to watch. So you end up having a highly engaged audience. They're ready to watch the show. It's not just something you're going to surf around and bounce around, because you can't bounce out of it to surf. It's just not the way it's designed by nature. So when a commercial runs, people watch it 98% of the time all the way through. The only time that they're not going to watch is if they leave their show, which, okay, we understand that people have to leave the show sometimes, but compared to regular television, a lot higher percentage of people watching it all the way through to the end. So, it's targetable. It's targetable differently than what television is. Television used to have to go and say, I'm going after males 65 years old, high net worth or whatever, and I want to go history 8p to 10p. Well, now, we're going after people because we're looking at their behaviors online. We're able to target them in a specific area to the specific person. So it's much more accurate. There's less waste, and it just makes for a better experience because you're seeing things that make sense to you, not just a commercial that's randomly going to a network or a channel or a time slot. One of the things that separates ours from some of the other people's products, like traditional for OTT from other companies, is we're able to make sure that it's not overdone because commercials are bought and sold and put online. There could be where you're watching a show and every commercial you could be seeing the same thing over and over. We have some frequency caps that prevent that from happening. And Haley, you can kind of talk to that a little bit on how that works, if you would.
Yeah, absolutely. So the name of the game for all the digital products is user experience. So we want to create the best user experience we can, and that is now extended to advertising as well. So we want to serve relevant ads to the right person at the right time, and part of that is frequency. So I think we've all seen one ad that we just keep seeing that ad during a specific TV viewing session, and at the fifth, sixth, seventh time that we've seen it in the same kind of ad break, we're like, oh my gosh, we get it. So it's not even about remembering it anymore. Now it's crossed the line into being kind of annoying. So what we can harness in CTV targeting is frequency capping. And it's taking a holistic view of your viewership session to say, I only want to show you an ad max 4 times. So I might not even get to 4 times, but that's my max. And that's just creating a more strategic ad campaign because, one, we're not paying for repetitive ad spots. We're not paying for those impressions and wasting our ad dollars. And also we're creating a better experience for the user. So we're seeing that in CTV, we can max that frequency, but in comparison to traditional TV, we can only max frequency in certain channels. So if I am watching Lifetime and I get 3 ads for our client, and then I switch to HGTV and I could get 3 more ads for that client, and then I switch to ESPN to watch the game that evening and I get 3 more ads for that client. And so just being more strategic with how repetitive we are and how we're lifting brand awareness is really important.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. That's great stuff.
Very much so. It's all about the user experience, and that just makes it a much better user experience, not to get something 1,000 times during an hour break or whatever. But we have another thing is the geography. If you're doing broadcast, it can cover such a wide swath that there can be a high cost to it, and you can't narrow it down like you can with CTV. You can narrow it down to specific zip codes, going after, I want to go after females 25 to 35 that have 2 children that are interested in X, Y, or Z. So you're narrowing it down. So if I'm watching a specific show at a specific time, my neighbor is watching the same thing, I can be served a different commercial because of my behaviors online, which is really neat. It's just much better experience than you can get with traditional television. And then my favorite benefit of CTV, on top of the targeting, getting in front of people in a space that sometimes it's also kind of a breakthrough. I've heard many clients say, what's really neat is I hear people talking about it because TV, they're used to seeing me, but when they're streaming, they're not used to seeing someone local. And it really, I'm hearing people talk about it more than I hear from my traditional television buy or any other type of marketing. I had one customer told me this, out of 20 years of marketing, this is the most I've heard anybody talk about our marketing. So that's always neat to see and understand, because it's just not something that people are accustomed to seeing local people. When they are, it may have more impact than when they're used to seeing 6 or 7 commercials in a row that are all local people that just kind of gets lost in the wash. But my favorite thing, getting to it, is the ability to retarget out of that audience. So if someone watches their commercial, then they basically get tagged it, and we're able to serve them a display ad that follows up. So not only do you get to see a 30-second commercial, over the next 20, 30 days, we can serve them a banner ad, follows up, can be a message to help, raise awareness again, or drive them further down the funnel so that to get them down to the intent of the purchase. So now it's a conduit into their website, which with traditional TV, it plays and it brands and it does all the things great that television has done over the years, but there's never been a way to follow back up with it to make sure they get into your website and learn more about you. And the more that you can get qualified traffic into your website, the more sales you're going to have and the more awareness, everything. And to me, that's a home run.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just sitting here listening, it seems like you guys are just kind of scratching the surface with CTV. I mean, you guys obviously know your stuff. And when it comes to talking about how great it is and the many, many benefits, it feels like this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to it. So, when we're looking at this and we see all these benefits and you guys go on and on about this, when we think about, connected TV versus linear TV or, traditional TV, is there any point in advising and purchasing into traditional TV these days? Is that considered wasted, or, how do we balance that?
Yeah, that's a great question. When you're looking at your marketing budget, you might not know, where's the best place to spend this? And I think it just depends. So from a strategy standpoint, it depends, a lot of factors. So geography, budget, what you're promoting, just so many different things. But when you're looking at the TV ecosystem, we're just in a transitional period. So, CTV is rising so much in popularity, but linear, which is more of a traditional standpoint, so traditional TV isn't gone. And you're going to want to look at what that linear TV how it helps you reach your goals. So for some national advertisers, linear TV totally makes sense. You hit a huge audience, and often you hit them in some of the most popular content event-wise. So things like, Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, the Super Bowl, all those big ticket items. And depending on who you are, that could be a great spot for you. But in this transitional period, you just want to look at, I think the question that you want to look at is are people still viewing TV? And the resounding answer is yes. I don't think that's declining, and the numbers aren't saying that it's declining either. And I think a lot of people question that because the way people are viewing is changing so much. So you might look at an 18-year-old who views their TV through their PlayStation, and you might ask, is that TV viewing? And the resounding answer now is yes. And people are watching TV in so many different places. So it's no longer the definition of TV is the set-top box from your cable or broadcast provider. TV is anywhere you watch television content. So that could be your streaming service, that could be your set-top box, that could be through your gaming console. It's all television. So I think right now, as streaming services aggregate, and as traditional TV shakes out a little bit more, we're going to see down the road that everything is just going to be called TV, and it won't be CTV and traditional TV anymore. It's all TV.
That's all incredible stuff, Haley. I mean, it's so interesting. And even just sitting here, you're taken aback by how much option we have here. And so, you have the premium access to the inventory and the streaming habits of other users. And I feel like you guys are just hitting the surface of the benefits of CTV. So what else is there when it comes to CTV? Let's dive even deeper and kind of like dive in and see what else is there, the benefits wise.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of benefits to CTV. You have a highly engaged audience, number one, where it's really appointment TV. So when someone wants to watch something, they turn on their device, whether it's a smart TV or Fire Stick or whatever it may be. They're flipping around. That's really what the channel surfing is at this time. So you're not skipping over commercials. You're surfing through a menu. You find your show and then you set it and you watch your show. As commercials show up during this time, people aren't jumping out of their show. So we end up with, 96, 98% of the time people are watching the commercials all the way through, which is a huge benefit to the advertiser. So, their dollars are being spent well. We know they're not being skipped over. And what's nice about it is it's also, it's drilled into the right person. So they're seeing content that they want to see. So, there's no upfronts necessary. There's spot guarantees, no remnants or day parts. So these are all things that traditional TV had a downfall on, is you had to set your specific channel, day part, and buy it ahead of time and hope that it doesn't get bumped out. So, this all works programmatically through our system, so that, when you're running to get in front of the right person, right place, and right time, we can put your spot to that person. So if we're trying to get Adam Seals, 47 years old, that likes knives, guns, and fast cars, I'm going to see a different commercial. Even if I'm watching the same show as Haley, who lives next to me, she's not going to see the same commercial that I am. So that's what's way different about television in CTV, the differences. So, being able to address per household, also the geography. So you look at broadcast television, it can be a big plus if you're trying to cover a huge area and you want to get the message out there to tons and tons of people. You're going to have to pay the high price for it, but it's a great medium to get in front of a lot of people. If you don't have that big a budget, or you want to really narrow it down and say, I want this part of town or not this part of town, or I want this type of person or this type of person or this specific zip code, because maybe I'm Dairy Queen and I don't want to go 30 miles away because nobody's going to travel that far to come to Dairy Queen because there's one next door. You can do that with CTV, which is really nice. So you get to have all the benefits of what banner ads have done, able to target down to the right person with a long form video or a 30-second commercial. So it's the best of both worlds. One of my favorite things is being able to retarget out of it. So with television and cable of the old, you put out a commercial, you try to get it in front of the right person compared to what Nielsen says, and you're buying spots and hoping you run in them. We're able to retarget out of that audience. So when they watch our commercial, we serve them a display ad. That display ad just furthers their, you're trying to get people down the sales funnel from awareness to intent to buy, right? And ultimately the sale. So your commercial runs. Traditional TV, it runs, and then that's kind of the end of it. It does its job. It does it well. But with CTV, now you retarget them with a display banner ad. They get to see that again. They've already seen your commercial. Now they're seeing the banner ad. And then they can click on it and go to your website, which is super awesome. No other, until digital came around, that wasn't even a possibility. And now you're able to get people to your website, which is the most important part, or one of the most important parts of your business. It tells your story. If someone has interest in you, they go there. Now you've got them where you want them. You can show them your sales. We're able to track all of this. And that's another great thing about CTV is, it's trackable. We can tell if someone has watched your commercial and then visited your site. So you can really see the true benefits, what it means to you, as an advertiser spending your hard-earned dollars, what you're actually getting out of it.
Yeah, how I like to sum up CTV's benefits is measurement and flexibility, which is pretty much everything Adam just covered, is that it's so much more measurable than traditional TV and so much more flexible.
How come you just said that in like one sentence and it took me like 4 sentences? That's not fair.
You're more detailed, so.
I love it. That's great. I mean, you guys have just talked about, all of the advantages and the benefits of connected TV, the CTV. And, at this point, I can't imagine someone that wouldn't want to capitalize and just jump on that. And so where's the balance between, connected TV and this new ecosystem versus traditional TV and the linear TV system? How do you pick which is which?
I think it's really just embracing the change. Seeing these trends and embracing it, and being in tune with how people adopt technology and how quickly they adopt technology. People are adopting new technology just historically much quicker now than they ever did before. So just keeping a pulse on that and just questioning, am I showing up strategically for my target audience? You know, asking those questions about where people are viewing and, you know, being willing to step into that new ecosystem, because here before long, it's not going to be new anymore. And that's just how it's going to be. And you're going to be missing out on, you know, a lot of good impressions to your target audience because of it.
Yeah, and I think people are more, you know, they're more curious than ever, and they want to know and try these new technologies. And I'm finding myself becoming more of an educator in letting people understand how this works. You know, we just touched upon a few things over this last few minutes, but once people understand how it works, why it works, who I can get in front of, how I can target, then they understand it better, and then you have buy-in and you have people seeing results from it.
Exactly. And you think now, even with this entire pandemic, with coronavirus, people are home now more than ever. So they're seeing connected TV more than ever. So why not educate yourself now and, you know, continue to rise on that? So thank you so much, guys, for joining in and, you know, kind of just giving us your expertise. Like I said, we have the strategist and we have the guy going out and finding the clients for it. So you guys really are the best of the best when it comes to this. So thank you so much for joining on.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So guys, thank you so much for joining us. Viewers, we are so excited to have more webinars just like these. And what's even better is you get freebies because of you guys registering and watching. So today, because you guys registered and watched this, you are going to be able to access our downloadable connected TV playbook. This playbook is unlike anything else. Cannot find it anywhere else. We made it in-house with all of our experts. We kind of threw together everything, all of our knowledge, and made it a playbook specifically for you guys to enact in your daily business lives now. And so because you guys downloaded and registered, you guys get that for free. So we hope to do more webinars like this with more freebies and of course with more experts. And I'm sure we'll see Haley and Adam back on very, very soon. So thank you so much, guys. And we will see you guys soon.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.